একজন ফুড ইঞ্জিনিয়ার হিসেবে জবের ক্ষেত্রে আমাদের স্যাম্পলিং বিষয়টা অত্যন্ত গুরুত্বপূর্ণ। ফুড কোম্পানিগুলোতে জব করতে গেলে প্রথমেই আমাদের স্যাম্পলিং বিষয়টা খুব ভালোভাবে জানতে হবে। মূলত স্যাম্পলিংটা দুই ভাগে ভাগ করা যায়। একটা প্রবাবিলিটি স্যাম্পলিং এবং নন প্রবাবিলিটি স্যাম্পলিং। সো আমরা কথার মাধ্যমে না জেনে একটা ভিডিও দেখে এই স্যাম্পলিং বিষয়টা সম্পর্কে একটু ধারণা নিয়ে নিই। চলুন তাহলে আমরা ভিডিওটা দেখে ফেলি।
Let us first understand the difference between these two terms, population and sample. So sample is a small group selected from population to represent the entire population. So when you conduct research about a group of people, it is almost impossible to collect data from every person in that group. Instead, you select a sample, and that sample is a group of individuals who will actually participate in the research and will represent the entire population. Sample is basically a subset of population that is based on the fact that it is drawn from the population. Now, what is population? Population is a group from which the sample is drawn. Exact population will depend upon the scope of the study. Let us understand with some real life examples here. Millions around the world are infected because of this COVID-19, and many companies are in progress of developing vaccines, and in the process they're also doing some clinical trials. So they will select a small portion of people from different background, probably age, gender, and those who are infected with COVID-19 as a sample, and then will perform a study on these individuals, because it's not possible to conduct tests on millions of individuals at one time. So that is the difference between the population and sample. Now let us understand what is sampling. Sampling is a method that allows researchers to infer information about population based on the results from sample without having to investigate every individual. So reducing the number of individuals in a study reduces your cost, your workload, and may make it easier to obtain a high quality information. To draw a valid conclusion from your result, you have to carefully decide how will you select a sample that is the representative of the group as a whole. So broadly speaking, there are two different categories of sampling. One is the probability sampling and next is a non-probability sampling. Probability sampling. So probability sampling is based on the fact that every member of population has known an equal chance of being selected. This method is based on the theory of probability. For example, when you flip a coin, there are 50-50 chance of getting a head or tail. And if you flip a coin once more, again the chance of getting a head or tail is 15-50. Even if you flip a coin 100 times, the next time when you flip a coin, the chance of getting a head or tail will still be 50 or 50. But in that case, you still want to investigate the coin and why it is coming up head or tail every time. The bottom line of random selection process here is that equal probability and the independence of events. Now, when we talk about the non-probability sampling, it involves random selection based on convenience and other criteria, allowing you to easily collect initial data. So the main focus is that it is allowing you to select samples based on convenience. Probability sampling. So probability sampling is based on the fact that every member of population has known an equal chance of being selected. There are four types of probability sampling. The first is the simple random sampling. So the simple random sampling is a technique in which every member of study population has equal chance of being selected. Here the selection of items completely depends on chance and randomness, and therefore this technique is also known as method of chance. Let us assume that we have this population which represents a broad category of people of different age, sex, nationality and profession. And if we have to apply this simple random technique, we will select a sample from this population based on randomness and by chance. So the sample that we have are from these four individuals that we have selected. So these are selected based on randomness and by chance. The logic behind using this simple random technique is to remove the bias from the selection process. Next is the systematic sampling. In systematic sampling, the first element is selected randomly from the list or from the sequential files, and then every nth element is selected. Let us assume again that we have this population, which again represent the broad category of people, and if we have to apply this technique of systematic sampling, we will select sample from this based on the fact that we will select first sample randomly, it could be anyone, and then we will apply the nth element from this list. So in this case, we will pick the third element and member from the population. So every third member from the sequence will be picked from the population to represent the systematic sampling. This method is different from simple random sampling since every possible sample of nth element is not likely to be equal. Cluster sampling. So cluster sampling is a sampling procedure that involves randomly selecting a particular cluster of an element from a group of population and subsequently selecting every element of a selected cluster for study. So with cluster sampling, the researchers will divide the population into separate groups called clusters, which could be groups of externally homogeneous but internally heterogeneous groups. So then a simple random sample of a cluster is selected from a population. Let us assume that we have this population which represents a broad category of people of different age, sex, nationality and profession. And if we have to apply this sampling technique, then we divide the entire population into different groups, which is externally homogeneous but internally heterogeneous group called clusters. And after identifying a particular cluster that we will use for using this thing, we will pick all the elements of that selected cluster to be included in the study. Stratified sampling. So the probability sampling procedure that involves dividing the entire population into groups or strata defined by presence of certain characteristics like age, or maybe based on geography like north, south, east, west, or maybe male or female, and then randomly selecting sample from each strata. So let us assume that we have again this population which represents a broad category of people, and we divide this entire population into different strata. So let us first divide this into different strata. In this case, we are dividing based on male and female, elderly people, and the three stratas. Now we will select a sample from this different three stratas based on selecting one person from each strata at least. So this is the stratified sampling. So did you note the difference between the cluster sampling and the stratified sampling? So with stratified sampling, sample includes element from each strata, but with cluster sampling, samples include element only from one selected cluster. That's the difference between stratified sampling and the cluster sampling. Non-probability sampling. So in non-probability sampling, individuals are selected based on non-random criteria, and not every individual has a chance of being included in the study. This type of sampling is easier and cheaper to access, but you can't use it to make a valid statistical inference about the whole population. There are few types of non-probability sampling. First is a convenience sampling. It involves selecting sample based on convenience. A convenience sample simply includes individuals who happens to be most accessible to the researchers. This is easy and inexpensive way to gather the initial data, but there is no way to tell if the sample is a true representation of entire population, so it can't produce generalized result. It is also known as accidental sampling. The next type of non-probability sampling is the snowball sampling. Here, you select samples and ask them to refer you to others. It is also known as snowball sampling because in theory, once you have a ball rolling, it picks up more and more snow along the way and becomes large and larger. It is also known as network sampling. So in non-probability sampling, we have another category like quota sampling. So quota sampling means to take a very tailored sample that is in proportion to some characteristic or traits of a population. For example, you divide a population by state they live in income or education level, or maybe male or female. This method of sampling is often used by market researchers, where interviewers are given a quota of subject of a specified type to attempt to recruit. For example, an interviewer might be told to go to and select 20 adult men, 20 adult women, 10 teenage girls, and then 10 teenage boys so that they could interview them about their television viewing. Another type of category is purposive or judgmental sampling. It involves selecting samples based on or his own judgment. This technique relies on judgment of a researcher who chooses a sample based on his own experience. This approach is often used by media when canvassing the public for opinions in the qualitative research. So that is all I have on this video.
তাহলে স্যাম্পলিং সম্পর্কে আমরা কিছুটা হলেও ধারণা পেয়েছি। পরবর্তীতে স্যাম্পলিংয়ের বিভিন্ন ম্যাথ নিয়ে আমার নেক্সট ভিডিও থাকবে। ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে।